from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
Good evening, everyone. I am forecaster John Bordash with you to give you the 8 o'clock update, a little bit ahead of schedule, but the 8 o'clock update nonetheless on Tropical Storm Elsa and how really the forecast looks to be shaping up across our area and kind of giving you a live look at how things are shaping up. As you know, I need to know if you all can hear me fine. And it looks like as I'm saying that, Brandy says she can hear me loud and clear. So we are going to go with that. So welcome, everyone. Not too much has really changed since the last time we talked. We're still tracking Tropical Storm Elsa here, and this is a 1 hour loop. So right now, we can see we're beginning to get some of the more steady rain to be working into our region. We're seeing that really be the case south of Lexington Park. Radar is depicting steady to maybe at times moderate rain down towards parts of, let's call it Scotland, Ridge, Dameron, Piney Point, Tall Timbers, Callaway. That general area right now is where we're looking at some of the more steadier rains. And we do have, more heavy rain down towards the Richmond and down towards the Petersburg and Williamsburg areas, down to the south where you see all of those yellows and oranges. And that is all gradually working here to the north and east. And what we're going to be looking at, if I can actually bring this up, I should have included this while I was thinking about it, but I did not, alas. So let me get this graphic loaded up here that I did just publish over to JB Weather, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get this to look good at all, but it will do for now. Alright, let me throw this into the show quick. I just did this update probably about 45 minutes ago. By and large, what it shows is still rather accurate. Let me get this up to where we are right now. Okay, not super pretty, but this was a look at radar back at 7:15. Elsa back about 45 minutes ago was a little bit further to the south and west than she was right now as the storm continues to move north. Our models, our short-term models, the ones that update every hour, I've had a little bit of a hard time trying to get a good handle on how Elsa will be interacting with the atmosphere as it moves into our region over the next couple of hours. Many of our models do show now that the core of Elsa might have a hard time keeping moisture on the western side, which could cut down on some rain totals in our region. With that said, radar representation doesn't exactly show that. We're looking at still a heavy rain wrapped around the core right now, and the majority of the tornadic cells are down to the south and east of the track. Granted, this was 45 minutes ago. We have no active tornado warnings now, so this is a little bit old, but it's a lot better than me trying to write on the screen. This, I think, shows you and gives you a good idea kind of how things are shaping up. Generally south and east of that white line, that's going to be the future track of Elsa. That's where we're going to be looking at the highest tornado threat. Not to say we don't have one here in Southern Maryland, but it looks the most likely to happen, or you the best chance of seeing that happen. South and east of the track, south and east of our region. We're really watching for that heavy rain potential, and the areas that will see the heaviest rain locally will be Southern Calvert and Southern St. Mary's. Nothing's really changed there. The only update I'd probably make to that is probably the amounts we'll see. I don't know if we'll see necessarily 2 to 4 inches. It might be more like 1 to 3 in that region, but we're going to quickly taper things off as you head towards I-95. So the only real difference with the forecast versus what was published earlier, I think, is really just the rain amounts. Where the heaviest rain is setting up, like those contoured areas, and I can show you that quickly, those haven't really changed too much. Here we go. Yeah, this 2 to 4 inch zone, Southern Calvert, Southern St. Mary's County, probably a little bit more like 1 to 3. Realistically, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then that 1 to 2 zone is probably now more like that ½ inch to an inch, and then that darker green zone is now probably that less than ½ inch zone. So that's kind of how I think things are probably moving along here as we continue to move closer towards Elsa and the heavier rain actually moving into our region. I still think these contours and these shaded areas look pretty good, but I think that's what we're going to be talking about as we move forward here. Still going to be looking at some heavier rain. Let's take a look at futurecasts. I'm sure we have questions about when is it going to be the worst weather in my specific neighborhood. I'll show you futurecast. This will help to really give you an idea here. And this was rendered, I want to say starting at 6, but this does show, that rain potentially moving into our region. If I'm able to edit this, and let's bring it back here. So let's see, that was 6 o'clock. So as we move this forward towards 8 o'clock, not doing too bad of a job versus what we have going on right now. This is radar right now, sitting right around 8 o'clock. This was our future cast sitting right around 8 o'clock. Not looking too bad. By about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, we see, again, the heaviest range really focused. Southern Calvert, Southern St. Mary's, nothing's changed there. And then we continue just to see that being the main area locally where we're going to see some of the heavier rains. We'll see some outer bands, though, that work through areas like Annapolis, DC, Indian Head, King George. So those areas will get in on rain as well, probably not the main core of this. And then Elsa, still is forecasted, will move out pretty quickly. By about 2 o'clock, the last bands are moving through, and by the time we're waking up here, right around 3, 4, 5, or not waking up, but by 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, that is when we start to see things clear up. So that is how things currently stand at the moment. A couple of changes, but at the same time, maybe not huge changes. A lot of this is, I mean, there's no point in issuing a new forecast. This is literally happening right now. So we're not going to change too much, but this is just what we're looking at right now. I don't see any indications right now of any storms producing rotation in our region, which is good news. The way we would really kind of track that here would be with our velocity product tool. We use this a lot when we are tracking during severe weather season. And if I can turn this off, and we will let this load up, or maybe not. I'm sure it won't want to, because why would it? And we're just not going to mess with it, so we'll come back here. But the vast majority of any rotation has been well south of our area, down along the Newport News area, down along southeastern Virginia, lower Delmarva, northeastern North Carolina. That region generally has been the area where we've been watching some of the heavier rains and that tornado threat. And I think that will continue to be the area we'll look for the highest tornado threat. But nevertheless, these areas here in red, this includes Calvert, St. Mary's counties, Westmoreland County, tornado watch up until 11 o'clock this evening. So not too much really to report on right now, aside from the fact that it's raining. I know that might be a little crazy for some, but there's not much for me to say on that other than it's raining. And so far, we're kind of on par with how, what we've been saying over the last day, but especially the last couple of hours. There's really nothing new I can really add to what we're looking at except for what's happening. So we will continue to see how all this evolves. In terms of wind speeds, generally the way I would kind of put this, and I want to see, let me try turning some of these layers off, and I'll just draw right on here. So I think we're probably looking at those 45 to 60 mile an hour gusts, probably still right in this region. So we'll call that 45 to 60 mile per hour gusts. We're probably talking about 35 to 45 mile an hour gusts, probably right in through here. But in our local region, this is probably going to be really confined to our Bayside locations. And my apologies that the text kind of does that wave thing. I cannot control that. That's just the program has been made. And then winds quickly drop off there. Probably in this zone, we're talking generally 25 to 35 miles an hour, and outside of that, we're talking less than 25 miles an hour. So this is kind of an idea to give you a look at how winds will probably stack up across our region. And then just to give you a quick idea, just kind of freehanding it here, if we're looking at rain totals, we're probably talking 1 to 3 being likely in this region in terms of rain. Outside of that, we're probably talking, I'd probably put it right in through there where we're talking ½ inch to 1 inch, and then outside of there we're talking up to ½ an inch. This is just a rough drawing just to give you an idea where that heaviest rain looks to be setting up. Sorry for all of that mess, but I think that gives you a good idea. But we will see how all this evolves. I'll be with you all night to track this and see how everything unfolds. We're still kind of in one of those wait-and-see type places right now. We really won't see. If we see the worst weather, it will not move in until probably about 10 o'clock this evening or so. So stay tuned. We'll continue to keep you updated. I'll be back here in probably about an hour and a half, give you an update to see what we're looking at right now. But that about does it for me right now. I'm forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. And we'll be talking back here soon in about an hour or hour and a half. Keep it tuned here to JB Weather for the latest information.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.